One.
Hi, this is John in Japan for Ronin, man. And we've got Ronin on the line, but I'm going to be interviewing him. How's it going, Ronin?
Hey, John. What's happening?
This is a role reversal, but it's pretty good. We're going to talk about the female manipulation of men.
All right, cool.
All right.
I know you're in an interesting circumstance. Like, yeah, we really want to hear what you're learning there. And I know you've raised a couple of kids, a boy and a girl. So you have a comparison, and like you're doing things that I've never done, and I really want to hear what you've learned and what you've seen. And yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, what's happened is you know, through circumstance, I've raised a young boy, and also now I'm raising a 7-year-old girl, and of learning the how really critical this is. This is key. Is how women learn their skills at about 7 years old. 7 years old is when they're off to the horse races. We are screwed, and and I've noticed it a lot because of our conversations, constant interruption, and all the manipulated tools, blowing me off, insensitive, and then coming at me when I'm talking to you, interrupting us, being sweet.
Yeah, I want to say, like, for me, like when we call, okay, so for
Yeah.
you guys listening, like with John and I call often, not even just for the Ronin man, but just as friends, just call. Whenever I'm going through something, I'll call John, and same with him, right? And as you saw with the episode with the funeral, John's father,
Yeah.
we just talk to each other, and we're good friends, right? So when we talk.
I'd say we're brothers, really.
Yeah. So when we're talking, I can hear things sometimes. Sometimes you can't see what's happening in front of you, but somebody else can see it easier. They're like, oh, that friend's trying to manipulate you. I can see it, and you're like, what? But either way, so I'd call John, and we would start talking, and we would get interrupted suddenly by the girl. The little girl would just kind of start talking on the phone, or start just suddenly talking to John, like asking him dumb questions that are unrelated, and just interrupting our conversation. And it's like, and I thought to myself, the first time it happened, I thought, wait a second, maybe she's interested in your friends. Maybe she wants to meet me. Like that was kind of my first reaction. Is like, kids are curious, right? So they want to, they want to get involved in things. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I talked to her the first time. I was like, hey, what's your name? What are you doing? We talked and everything, just doing the old Uncle Paul thing, right? And so then I thought, okay, this is it. And I paid attention, and it interrupted our conversation, but no problem, right? It was a normal thing. I was walking out on the rocks, and we just talked and everything. But then it just continued. Like, it was like she just kept asking questions and wanting to take pictures and wanting to this, and then wanting to see. And like, I realized at some point, she was trying to interrupt our call, actually.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I just suddenly dawned on me, like, wait a second, this is not just wanting to meet your friend. This is like actually trying to interrupt your conversation with your friend. And that was like really weird. And then later I noticed that when we would start talking, like, I would never hear her in the background. I would never hear it. And then after like a certain amount of minutes, she would be on alert that we were talking. And then I would suddenly start hearing her voice, like, pretty loud in the background. She was trying to get noticed, and you didn't know. I said it to you, and you didn't notice it. And like, I would hear, like, it was bothering me because I was having trouble like paying attention, because no matter.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. I was trying to deflect it, right?
Yeah, you were trying to say, oh, no.
Yeah, I was trying to cover it. Yeah, guys thing. We try to cover stuff. No, everything's cool.
Yeah, it's just a 7-year-old girl, right? But it was super obvious to me that she was interrupting us. Like, it was super obvious. And I don't mean to me, I mean to anybody who was talking to you outside the house who wasn't under any, it was super obvious. It's like, wait a second, this girl's like trying to interrupt all our calls now. Like, every time we call, she's
Mm-hmm.
like running into the middle of the conversation and like
Yeah. Yeah.
interrupting
Mm-hmm.
it. So I was like, wait a second, this is weird because this chick is, she's only 7 years old, and
But it's
so,
not weird. This is where they start. This is
okay,
where
tell me
women
about
start. This is where women start. This is the fucking where you find the the bull the the this is where it all begins,
that. Okay.
right? And where they learn it from. Here's my theory. I could be off mark here, but they learn it from their mothers and females around them, and how they're the banter back and forth, right? There's this banter, right? This idle banter, right? And that's how they learn it. They learn all these phrases, like "get up" and "fucking how come you're not shaven," and "you stink," and all this bullshit, that they say, right?
So,
And
so a 7-year-old girl is like badgering you, basically, like
yeah,
it's almost like
yeah,
like a henpecked wife.
yeah, and feeling like, hey, and you know what I think it is? It's not about that. It's all about, this is what my mom does. This is how my mom acts. I'm imitating my mom.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's what it's all about.
essentially you're being henpecked by the wife, right? And she's,
Vis-a-vis the child. Yeah, sure.
but what I'm saying is like you're being henpecked by the wife, and then the daughter's like, oh, this is how relationships work.
Yeah,
I'm
this is normal. Yeah, yeah,
gonna
yeah.
practice, and then
Hmm.
she's henpecking. So you're kind of being henpecked by two people at the same time.
Yeah. And then you don't want to tell her to fuck off or nothing, but
No, of
you
course not.
know,
Yeah, she's a
but
little girl.
you can if you're smart, where it's all about imitation. That's how we learn, right? We learn. That's how
Sure,
that's
sure.
how humans learn. We learn how to. There's nothing original. All we do is imitate, right? We imitate. There's no original idea, right? So
I've
that's
got
all
an
it is.
interesting thing about that. One thing people often say that China copies and they'll never innovate, and
Yeah.
everybody's not worried about China being an innovative country. It's like, well,
Hmm.
they're just going to always copy, right? And I
Yeah.
totally disagree with that. It's so much because I've seen that China's now innovating and leading
Yeah. Sure they are.
quantum,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Physics.
entanglement of
Yeah.
qubits. China is
Yeah.
leading the way in hypersonic vehicles, and it's starting to innovate and lead the field in these areas that are like really cutting edge and really important for defense and everything. And
Right.
nobody sees it because they only see the copy part. But the copy
Well,
part is only the first step in learning. Like when I studied Chinese, I used to just, in Japanese too, I would just copy my girlfriends, and then people would say you're talking like a woman.
yep.
And a lot of guys went the other
Yep.
way where they really tried to talk like guys. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
Yeah. Hmm.
completely copied my girlfriend all the time in the beginning.
Sure. Sure.
I got very good at imitating her sounds, the way she talked, the words she
Yep.
used. And then after I mastered speaking Japanese like a woman and like a man,
Yep.
then I started to listen to the guys talk,
Sure.
and then I started to integrate and realize
Sure.
I just kind of naturally shifted over to like I don't talk
Yeah,
like
but
at all like
that,
a woman anymore. But
that's how we learn, though, as children, when we're dropped into this world. All we do is look around and spy around, and we look at all these big people, and we imitate what they say. That's all we do. We
yeah,
don't even know what we're saying. We
that's
don't
right.
even know. We
People
know
were trying to
nothing.
people were trying to shame me for doing that, but I'm very fluent in both languages now because I went the natural route. I realized that imitation is the most important thing in the beginning. You
And
imitate your father.
when you're born, right?
Yeah,
Who's your first teacher? Who's your first teacher? It's your mom, right?
right.
Right? That's your first teacher, right? That's the first teacher. And then, your dad's kind of around, but it's really your first teacher is your mother. And that's the way it goes, right?
Mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm.
as young boys, we're floundering around like fish. Like, God help us, like we survived, the survival rate for boys, like boys get sick quickly. Boys are weak when they're born, The suicide rate's high. You know, it's just amazing that as men, we've grown up and learned all this stuff. Like it's just, and now we're starting to figure out where it all starts, right? And I'm telling you where it starts. It's 7 years old.
Okay, tell me about the difference. You raised a boy, you raised a girl, and it's interesting because she's 7 now, so it's a really good time to talk about it. You're
Holy
very
shit,
correct.
man! It is amazing. Like the language that I hear is the crap that you hear when you're 20 and 25. You know, it's that kind of crap. It's and the pouting and the whole facial, everything about it, like the whole dynamic is 7 years old, man. And like as boys, we don't figure this out until what, maybe 20, 25, you know? And they're like 10 years ahead of us when we start. Like no wonder boys are like screwing up in school right now, you know?
It sounds like 18 years ahead.
Oh, okay. Whatever, do the math, you know?
7 to 25, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like we're screwed from the get-go.
I
You
talked
know?
about this in the How to Leave a Bad Relationship one, where I said that emotionally women are much stronger and they have much better ability to manipulate people and to control their own emotions. And some guys commented that they were too tough and they
Ah,
they're stronger.
yeah,
Women are
yeah,
weak.
yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
totally don't disagree with that. And there was somebody commenting who was, I'm sure it was a woman, but they were pretending like they were a guy. And then they were saying like, women being strong, my ass. And I said, please. I said, women are much stronger. And the thing is women always play the weak card, but the weak
Hmm.
card is a way to control and manipulate. If
It's
you're weak,
fake. Yeah,
then
it's
you need
fake.
support, right? So
Yeah, it's fake.
and they encourage guys to think that they're so strong, right? It's
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. And when you join the military,
yep,
do you
yep.
want to have this brain that we got? Do you want the Ronin brain when you sign up for the military? I don't think so. I don't think so. You want to have that, like I'm a man, I kick ass, I take names, fuck you. You want to be an MMA fighter. You want to kill and destroy. You don't want any emotions to get in the way. And now if you're starting to think about how this all starts, you're not going to be a very good soldier, I'll tell you that. Like holy shit. Like this is profound shit that I'm learning right now today.
So tell me what you're learning, what you're seeing on a daily basis. I saw it from the outside, and it was really interesting. And I can say this: it was pissing me off actually. Her interrupting us.
Well, that's fine. That's
Because the
fine.
first
And
time I thought it was
I was covering up. I was a good man, right?
yeah. The
A
first
good
time I
man.
thought it was really cute because I know that kids love to meet their dad's friends.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Cool. She's
No,
coming
no, no. This is
up.
past that. This is way past this. This is like 1,000 years past that bullshit.
Well, what's interesting too is we've been talking on the phone for obviously the last 7 years, right? So, and it just happened now. She didn't do this when she was 5.
No,
I never heard her. I didn't even
not
know she
six. Not
was.
6. It's 7. I'm telling you, 7 is a magical year. Do you want to know why? I'll tell you a little more. A little more there, Ronan.
Mhm.
Okay. When you hit the magical age of 7, what happens?
No idea.
6 and 7. 6 and 7, you're starting off first year school, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Guess what's happening
No
when you
idea.
enter first year of elementary school?
Hmm.
You are indoctrinated and brainwashed into the social system that we call society. And all your teachers, guess who they are? Are they men?
Nope.
No.
All women.
Yeah, guess what they're telling you? Guess what they're reminding you of?
What?
They're saying, look, you're a little woman. You're not a girl. You're a little woman. Even there's a goddamn book called Little Women,
Uh-huh,
you
uh-huh.
know? And that was a big movie too, by the way. Like,
I
you
heard the
know,
name. I never even put it together. Okay, so
but
what?
I'm putting it
What?
together and I'm telling you, it's all about that. They're reminded right from first year school, you're a little woman. those other people, those alien beings, we call them boys, they're fucking stinky, snakes and tails, and these little nursery rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking, it's horrid. That's what I'm talking about. That,
Oh
what is
yeah,
it? Snakes and tails and fucking girls and
puppies.
sugar
Yeah.
and spice and all things nice, right?
Yeah.
They're taught that right from grade 1, right? They're
Right.
taught hate, a despising of men, or men are like secondary. They're kind of little fucking tools,
Mhm.
I'm thoroughly convinced, because I know that when I work at a different institution, and
Yeah.
if the dynamic is different,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and where you got a ratio of men and women, children are different, right?
Really?
Oh fuck yeah! Oh
So if
man,
children are raised by half men, male teachers,
yeah,
and half
yeah, yeah,
female teachers,
yep.
they end up different.
Totally. If I walk in, like, I'm in educational technology. That's one of the things. I'll put that out there. I'm in educational technology, and I also teach English here in Japan. And what I notice, if I got a principal of a school that's a male, and the vice is a female,
Mm.
great. But if you got the principal is a female and the vice is a male, you may as well cut his balls off.
It's that
You may as
different.
well.
What do you,
It
what's the?
is that different. It's that different. It's it's like a badge. It's like a badge on infantry unit, right? You got this little girl there. You got a like skull and crossbones. You got a guy running an institution. You got skull and crossbones. You got a fucking woman running an institution.
Mm.
You got fucking pantyhose and tampons. I mean, it's insane. And you'll be back talk and fucking all that catty bullshit going on, and you'll get a bad report, and it's just fucked. And this is legendary, in especially in education, is the female dynamic. It really affects how little boys and girls grow up into be men, and no wonder they have low test scores and feel lowest self-esteem, and the suicide rates are high, and nobody wants to get married and families and all this shit anymore. It's all because of that. It's all that indoctrination, that brainwashing that goes on, and that's 2018.
What are the girls taught about themselves, and what are they taught about boys? What are boys taught about themselves in a female run school that you can see?
Well, it's just that I don't, I can't, like, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you specifics, because everybody it's all done by the book. But just the vibe, it's just it's the attitude. It's a very catty behavior that goes on
Mm-hmm.
when you got the dynamic of females versus men. It's very catty, and it's very condescending, and it's just not an it's like if you walked into a hospital and they said, "Look, I want you to go downstairs, um, you know, to the morgue. How you feel? You probably don't feel too good. Oh no, I want you to go upstairs to the where they're having the maternity ward. You probably feel good, right? Well, when you go into a institution where it's mostly females, it's like being in a goddamn morgue.
Oh, yeah.
It
Okay.
is. It
Now
is.
that's an interesting way to put it, is like you can feel it, right? It's different.
Yes,
Because
yes. You can smell it. You
I
can
taught
smell it.
school too before
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in Japan. Like in Japan, for guys listening, when you get to
Mm-hmm.
Japan in the old days, I don't know what it's like now, but you couldn't get a visa almost any other way. It was very difficult to stay in Japan. The
Pretty
easiest
much.
the easiest way to stay was to be an English teacher. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that was the one way that Japan was very welcoming, and as long as you're teaching English, the visa was easy. And
Mm-hmm.
so what a lot of people did, like myself, is we would get a visa to teach English, and then we would do other things. So I was starting businesses on the side, which is technically illegal, but I was doing businesses on the side. I was starting my own businesses, but I had my teacher's job too. So I taught in high schools, I taught in kindergartens, and I also taught in not university, but junior college. I taught in a junior college. And, it's interesting that you say that, because I just thinking back now to what was going on in the different schools, and the high school that I taught at was the most female run. I could feel it.
Yep.
Were Men had to, like, the teachers that were there, the guys, they were very, very weak and kissing ass.
Mm-hmm.
And the women were really, really tough. And I remember this one teacher, I can't remember her name now, but she was a really, really super cunty type, right? And I
Yep.
taught with her, and
Yep.
she was so, like, I was very popular with students. So I remember one time in class we were talking and stuff, and I was getting more and more popular in class,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and she didn't like it. So she was trying to stop me from being popular.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I was just the sidekick for them, like, she's the
Mm-hmm.
main course, right? And I remember
Mm-hmm.
one time in class, she said something so inappropriate. She said, she goes, because in Japan at the time, like, nobody used drugs. There was no drugs.
Yep.
And if you used if you smoked marijuana, you were like basically like a heroin addict to Japanese, at the time.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
had a meth
remember
lab
that?
going on,
Yeah, it was like,
basically. Yeah.
oh my God, you smoke marijuana. But in
That's it.
America at the time, it was, 60s, 70s, it was totally normal, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
she said it in the class. She knew I was honest. I was going to answer honestly if she asked me a question, because I never tricked the students. And she also, students would be disgusted. So she goes, right in the middle of class, she goes, "You smoke marijuana, right?" And I was like, and I knew it was
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
worst thing.
You
But
set up, man. A
I
fucking setup for a young guy. Yeah,
I
totally.
couldn't get myself to lie, because I don't lie to people. So I'm like, well, yeah, I knew it was the worst thing to say to the students too. I knew it. I knew it was terrible. And I said,
Oh
I was like,
fuck, man.
I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I said, and then the students all looked down and they're like, oh my God, he's a drug addict, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
a
yeah.
criminal.
He's strung out. He's
Yeah,
strung out.
he's a criminal, right? And
Yeah,
career
he's
criminal.
strung. Yeah, he's fucking.
And
He's
now the
he's
Japanese are different now. They
he,
get it, because
yeah.
they go overseas
He's
and smoke marijuana.
he's yeah. I know. He's jonesing. You were jonesing at the
Yeah,
moment.
they're going to be robbing the school or something, shooting.
Yeah, yeah. You were.
Yeah, and so then I said, well, and I tried to explain to the students, but the more I talked, the worse their faces
You
got.
digging a goddamn hole.
Yeah, I said, in America, it's totally normal and everything. They're basically thinking, like, in their minds, like, in America, it's totally normal to be a criminal and evil and it's not. So I realized I wasn't getting anywhere, so I stopped talking about that. But that was her zinger that she threw at me.
Oh
Right?
yeah, it was a setup. You walked into it. You stepped in the horse shit, buddy.
Yeah, and if I would have just lied, it would have been better. I just don't have the capacity to lie. I'm not good at lying. I don't like lying.
My belated father there, he'd say you stepped in the horse shit.
Well,
You
she was
stepped
trying
in
to
it.
take me down,
You stepped in it, buddy. You stepped in it.
it worked too. It worked. But
Yeah,
I
that
remember,
was good. You got your ass fucking hung out to dry. Good, man.
yeah, well, that school was a very female run. And there was another school I taught at, another high school, that was not female run. And you know why? Because the other school, okay, there was two schools. So the one that was female run was like a high class, very
But
wealthy.
you were doing private school, right? Yeah.
No, it wasn't private. It was actually both
Oh,
public. But one of them
public.
was such a wealthy area. It was like Beverly Hills. It was Comaba.
Okay, okay, okay.
So Comaba, there's two Comabas. One was the one I was teaching, which is the public one. But the public one was very high class. Like we had like a pool that was like covered in a big dome with a big glass.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
a big
Okay.
money school. It was just like a top private school.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That was the one that was female run. And then I taught at another school that was like outside Tokyo, and it was like like all the kids were completely like criminals.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a total, like, in motorcycle gangs and everything. And in that school, I remember a completely different vibe, because the students were totally out of control. Like they were dealing with drugs. They were riding motorcycles to school. They were getting they were like totally like all on the wrong road. Like they were definitely on the wrong road.
Got the meth going on, man.
I don't know what, probably. And the teachers couldn't control them. And so I was seen as because I was very honest, and I speak
Yeah.
Japanese, and I was
Yeah.
seeing like I remember like completely different vibe over there because at the rich school I was like, oh, let's use Paul, let's throw him out there, and he can
Yeah.
entertain people. Whereas at the other
Mm.
one, I came from a pretty hard background. Like I grew up in a you know in a in a trailer park and everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was like I let's see here. Let's see. My computer's doing something weird here. Um, I grew up in like a very rough kind of background, right? And so I had been through a lot of stuff, like that the kids hadn't been through, right? And
You
so
know what? When I first met, let me interrupt for two.
yeah,
When I first met you, I never thought that about you. Like the first time I saw you,
yeah,
I thought, oh fuck, man, this guy from California, this arrogant fuck. That's what I
hmm
thought. That's what I thought, right? He's got
yeah,
all his shit wired tight. He's all happy and joyous and free, and he's got the world by the balls. And where does he get off, right? That was the first thought I had, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you were
No,
like,
that's awesome.
you were very giving and very kind. You never, judged me at all, at all at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I definitely like people often when they meet me, they think this guy's from a rich background. I've had people come up to me and just
Mm,
say, like, I know your background. You came from a wealthy background and you were lucky and this and that. And
hmm
I don't even know what to say when people say that to me because I'm
Well,
like,
it's how you carry you've always carried yourself with like, this is who I am, and I choose to have a fucking happy face,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
this is me, and here I am. And you don't like, and if somebody starts digging into your stuff, you just don't respond and maybe walk away. Like
Well, it's
that,
my
that's the,
past, right? It's my
yeah,
past.
but that's how that actually attracted me to you when we used to sit down with the guys and, just hang out in Tokyo
Yeah.
and have coffee and stuff. And I remember vividly once some fucking waitress, it was in Roppongi, I think, and she was like riding your ass about some bullshit, and I don't know what it was all about, but you were like, okay, yeah, that's how you feel, okay. Like you just did not, you didn't take the bite, you didn't grab onto it, and if it would have been me, I would have went, what are you talking about? Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, it would just been a rabid dog, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
you never did that rabid dog shit with people, and that actually really attracted me to you, you
there's
know.
no need to bring in negatives. So yeah, no, no. So what I just to that class was interesting was they were totally out of control. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
like literally they were like not listening to me. They were all talking at the same time. They did
Mm-hmm.
not give a fuck, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they saw me as this entertainer who came in, and I realized I had to get control of the class somehow because it was
Yeah.
totally out of control, like completely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I finally said, I just said, because usually I spoke in English because it was an English class. And suddenly I said, I started talking in Japanese. I said, look, I want to tell you guys my background. And the other teacher, the school was so out of control that women, when things are really like when there's a war going on,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
suddenly
Here's
men
what.
become important
Guess
because
what happens? I've been in that situation too.
so suddenly men are important and respected.
Yeah,
So they bring
yeah,
order
yeah,
back, right?
yeah,
And so
yeah,
I said to the kids, I said, look, you guys, and I started telling them about my background, drugs, growing up in a trailer park, fighting, stealing shit as a kid, getting in
yeah,
trouble, my dad beating me up. My dad's like 2 weeks blackout, alcoholic, doesn't
yeah,
remember anything. Me not going to school, like hating reading, hating school, just getting in fights all the time. And so I started telling them my background I was specific too, about drugs.
yeah.
Like, and the students were blown away. Like they were fucking blown away. Like they were
Really?
looking at me like no teacher in Japan has ever talked like this, ever.
No way.
No teacher
He-
ever says anything like this.
he'd
And
lose his underwear, man.
yeah, I just told the truth about my story. And the teacher, they looked at me. After that, that class was so well. I won over the main bad guy. I
Yeah.
won one long-haired guy, and I was
Hmm.
kind of looking at him because I knew he was the leader.
Yeah.
And I told my real story, and they
Mm.
realized like fuck, this guy's kind of a badass. Like, fuck. And
Mm-hmm.
more than they are, right? Much more than they were. Like, they're talking shit. Well, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like, what you guys are like little pussies, right? You know, like, seriously, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally basically told him that, you know, and thing is, I won over that main guy. And after
Yeah.
that, the class was like excellent with me. And
Right.
they were like totally out of control with the other teachers. And in my
Yeah.
class, they were always like super, and people could not understand. Like the other teachers were like, how come they're nice to they called it the foreigner, right? But it wasn't,
Yeah.
they weren't nice to the foreigner. They would have treated me like total shit, even worse than
Yeah.
Japanese teachers if they could have. But
Sure they would.
I had their respect. And so that class was like angels for me. And
Yeah.
the long-haired guy, if anybody said anything to me, he was the one that took him down. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think with those two schools,
Mm-hmm.
I got respect when it was a war zone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the female teachers didn't know what I had done. Nobody could understand why they were like that with me. Because it was a really stark difference, John. It was like incredible. Like they'd be like throwing shit, getting in fights, you know, not listening. Everybody's facing the other way, not listening to the teacher. In the other class, they're sitting there, you know, looking at porn on their phone or whatever. And then in my class, they're all sitting there like raising their hands, you know, looking forward, trying to speak English.
Well, you know, that is a key thing, right? Like, male or female, especially if you're in a foreign country, if a person gives you respect when you're, you know, second in command, because you're not the, you know, you don't run the show, you're in second in command. If you get like respect and there's a rapport, everything's going to be going good, right? But I've noticed with the female perspective, if the dynamic in that institution is heavily weighted on the female side, they go into bitch mode, catty mode, hiding out, you know, all their tactics come out, which don't fucking work.
Oh, I
They
was
don't
just
work.
going to say that the only thing I disagree or like I want to add in to what you're saying is that it's not so much, in this case, it wasn't about how many female teachers it was. It was more like the degree of chaos. So there's a war going on. Men are appreciated.
Oh, for sure. We look for the lifeboats, right?
Yeah, like just the other day, I went out with a friend, my brother's out here in Boston. We went out on this lake, and they have two really rambunctious boys. I mean, these boys would grab me and grab a sharp shell and start scratching my back, trying to get blood out of my back. And
Nice.
I love boys like that because that's the way I was. So I fucked with them. We had a great time, and the mother was just looking at me like I was a savior or something, you know. Because apparently one of the boys had kicked her in the stomach, like really hard.
Sure.
And you know, and the thing is, they were like amazed that I had them like super fucking stoked. The boys were just like, they had the best day. And both parents were like looking at them. Because I love rambunctious boys, you know. I can totally relate. You know, I mean, I love girls.
Sure.
My nieces were like, I was Uncle Paul. I mean, I was like fucking love big time.
Yeah.
Rambunctious boys, I really understand them. And so women, when you're kind of like, when they can't control the situation, they will totally allow a man to come in. Women are catty and bitchy and boneheads when things are under control. But when things are out of control, someone like me, come in and fix things is super welcome. But then after, then you're a piece of shit again. You know, after calm down and the women have grabbed control. Yeah, I guess it's like a war. I'm like a soldier who comes in, shoots everybody, kills everybody. Okay, the war's over, and then I'm slowly not wanted. That's basically the way it works.
All you got to do, you know, it could be something simple as this: shit's going down. Female is trying to control something. You walk in the room, you look for the garbage can or whatever, something. You give it a good kick, real hard. You know, just blast that thing, right? Holy shit. That guy blasted something real hard, you know? Like I played tennis. I haven't played tennis in 1,000 years, man. And you know, this is something I should play because I'm actually naturally good at it, right?
Oh, okay.
Like, it's fucking weird. Like some stuff you're naturally good at, right?
Yeah, I'm not good at tennis. It's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I'm good at soccer and like tennis. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so like ping pong, no, but soccer anyway. So I went out to tennis court. I'm wearing my long trousers,
Yeah.
black,
Yeah.
looking like a, guy that doesn't fucking shouldn't be there. And
Yeah.
I go out there, I grab the ball and I go, and I'm pretending like I don't know what I'm doing. And I sort of don't. And I go, okay, so how does this go? And I go, okay, I'll just hit the ball like they do. And then I just fucking give it a good fucking blast. And like the whole place stopped. Like I just blasted that thing. Like it was fast and it was still on the court. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that teacher's he's scary. I was told I was scary now. You
Oh,
know?
that's interesting. I got to interrupt you. I had the exact same thing. That's really
Yeah.
interesting. You know what
Yeah.
happened was, I used to play soccer, and I
Yeah.
was an all-star, right? We went down to
Oh.
Mexico. Our team played Mexico and everything back in
Oh.
high school. And
Yeah.
so I was sitting there watching, and this is the bad school, back at the bad school. And between classes, we had nothing to do, so I'd just walk around the school. I'd go in the swimming pool and just whatever I could find to do. So one day I was down at the soccer field. It was after school, and the boys were playing soccer. And then I think this is before I was respected. I think,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
before my speech. And so then I was standing by the soccer field, and then one of the boys, they were like really disrespectful of teachers. I mean, really, like especially outside of class, they were even worse. And then
Well,
one of the guys was like basically, look at this fucking stupid guy over there. What's he doing? And I said, pass me the ball. So I ran on the field, and then he kicked it straight at me, trying to like scare me. And
yeah.
I don't know if you know this when you play soccer, but sometimes when someone kicks the ball straight at you, let's say you're standing and then someone kicks it
Mm.
straight by you, so it's going in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to go from your right to your left at high speed, right? Well, if you put your foot out and you go to kick, and if you hit it right on,
Mm-hmm.
like so it's going sideways, so it's really hard to kick it because it's easy to strike out, basically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, ping pong, man.
It's like impossible to hit. But if you do nail it perfectly,
Yeah.
you kick it really, really hard because
Yeah.
it's going
You
sideways.
launched that bastard.
Yeah, oh, you launched it like a fucking rocket, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he centered it to me really hard, and I
yeah.
just moved forward, just like total confidence, and I just swung my, I'm left-footed, but I swung my right foot, and I absolutely, John, I fucking nailed the living fuck out of that ball. He went so hard and so fast past the goalie, it tore
Yeah.
the net off the poles, and the whole
Yeah.
net and the ball went flying back. It was like
Excellent.
it was like a fucking gunshot, and it made a big sound too.
Yeah,
And
nice. Well,
yeah,
you really do a little aikido on that one, man.
oh, I fucking nailed the fuck out of that ball. It felt great. I love that. And the boys looked at me like, holy fuck. Like they were like, and then those boys respected me. But you needed to do something like that with these kids. You needed to get
That's how boys function, man. They
yeah,
got to see you. They're constantly testing you. What's this guy made of? You know,
right.
that's how it goes. And boys are simple that way. Like, okay, this guy doesn't give a fuck. We better watch out.
Well, plus,
You know?
I kicked that thing like I was in a fucking Olympic match. Like I kicked it like not with boys. I kicked that like a man.
You forgot everything. You just went and fucking.
Well, what I was trying to do is I was trying to hit it because it's really hard to hit it. He was making an impossible pass to me. So
Sure.
I wasn't trying to prove anything. When the ball comes that fast, you have to swing your leg fast. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You have to time it perfectly, right? And so you can't like bunt a ball. You know what I mean? You got to
yeah,
kick it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I wasn't trying to do it. I just thought, okay, he's gonna do that. All right, fuck, I'll pick it up. Right here it
yeah,
comes. I'm gonna fucking
yeah,
nail it. Bam! Right, the net goes flying in. And I was like,
yeah.
wow. And I love that. I love that boy to boy interaction. And I
Sure.
love. By the way, just so anybody's listening, I really love the girls too. Like I remember my nieces, a completely different scenario raising my nieces in Tokyo. What I had, what the reaction and the way that you act with them, the way that you are with them is so different than boys. But you do, essentially, you have to have the same skills. You have to get the respect of the kids. They got to know. You're not weak. They're testing you. They're always testing you, right?
Well, let me get on this
That you're
sort
real.
of yeah.
Yeah.
So we're sort of on this topic is the interplay with females and males, right?
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, but I started. I was one of the founders of the street hockey in Tokyo, right?
Totally remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when there was no street hockey in Tokyo, there was no ball hockey. There was maybe ice hockey at Waseda. It was all high level shit. But
What did you do? You
nobody's
played
just,
on Sundays or something?
yeah, Komazawa Coin, right?
Okay.
And that's a fucking good story. But anyway, the story I'm going to bring out, not just I helped start that or was one of the founders, was this is how the white knight and the pussy guys get in the way, right? Is when we were playing, right? There was a lot of chicks that would come out, right? To what's these guys doing, right? Like they're running around with sticks, like it's fucked, right? You're in Tokyo, it's humid, it's summer, you got your sneakers on, and an ice hockey stick and a tennis ball.
Well,
Like
people
it's
can't
kind of,
imagine how crowded Tokyo is. Like, if you carry anything in your hand in the
yeah.
rain, sometimes it feels very uncomfortable because there's no room.
Oh fuck! And you got your stick with you. People are like giving you space. That you're like a samurai. I felt like a samurai with that stick in my hand, and it was a graphite stick, and it was pretty cool because that's just when they were coming out. Then I had inline skates, and it was pretty cool. And then it branched off from that. But here's the point here: when we were playing, there were some chicks that wanted to play too, right? And they were pretty good. But the thing was, is they wanted to do goalie, right? You put a chick in goal, guess what happens to guys?
They don't shoot hard.
And that's right, man. I didn't give a fuck. I blasted that bastard really hard, and
Yeah.
I whacked her that hard, and she was fine, man. We actually went out for a beer later, but all the dudes on the team there, I was, I was the Antichrist.
It's interesting to see
Oh
that because
man,
when you
the
act like a man,
goddamn guys.
when you act like a man around girls, like everybody
Yeah,
doesn't act like a man when they're around little girls, you know?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
you do act like a man, like you're what you're really doing, I think little girls, they take it as respect because you are a fucking man. Like, you know
They're
what I
like,
mean? You don't act like
finally, yeah, finally this Christmas light is a lit, man. This
right.
guy's fucking
This
on
guy
fire.
is treating me like a woman,
Yeah,
and he's a fucking man, and
yeah,
that's something that the girls love because when you pretend like you're a woman, it gives the girls this weird feeling. It's this squirmy feeling, like who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, what are our
right.
goals? What is going on in life? I love that honesty. That's I can see that. I totally know what you're talking about.
It's like, get out of the way. I'm coming through.
Yep,
You
yep.
know,
I'm a fucking
like,
man. Hello,
like I'm coming through. You
Yep.
don't underestimate. Like I'm gonna fuck. I want a goal. I want to get that ball into the net, and you
Right.
happen to be there. I don't give a fuck who's there. I'm gonna fucking score. I wound up, man, slap shot, bang, right on her face. You're not supposed to hit a girl in the face, right? It's not cool. Somehow you're supposed to predict that? Like, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah. It's
on.
like, yeah,
What
it's
are you
always like
guys putting a girl in the net for? I'm
you can
playing.
roughhouse, but don't
Like,
roughhouse too much. It's like you're always wrong.
yeah,
No
okay,
matter what
we're
you do, you're
yeah,
always
we're gonna
wrong.
play like it's like football, I guess in the States, a touch football, you know, like
Well,
that's how they
roughhousing
wanted
is
to play.
important for kids. They need roughhousing. Kids
And
love roughhousing, and
I
that's
think I
exciting
was
too.
27 or something, I was like, fuck, Jesus, man. The guys were the worst. The chicks were fine.
They were worse with
You know?
what?
Well, they just treated me like shit from after that. And then I don't know if you remember that guy from Philadelphia. I forget who his name was, but pretty cool dude. We both knew. Forget what his name was. He's from Philadelphia. He was a jet, on the jet program. Do you remember that guy?
No.
But anyway, I said, fuck, you got to come with me, man. All these guys are hating me. You got to come with me. Let's go play hockey. Like, he's from Philadelphia. Of course he plays hockey. So fucking him and me were like playing like guys, we're passing it back and forth, we're scoring goals. All those guys were treating us like shit. And the guy from Philadelphia came up to me and he goes, "What's with these fucking guys? I don't want to play with these guys. They're all a bunch of chippy fucking, fucking whiny little bitches, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He was not impressed. And I said, fuck, it's probably because I smashed a chick the last week with the ball, in the face,
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that people don't understand about kids. Like I am always loved by kids, like always. And people don't understand that kids are little adults and
Yeah.
they are watching you. So anything that you're doing to try to change their mind, if you're trying to like trick them, like, hey, you're trying to act like somebody else, they can see right through it. Because I always remember when I was a kid and adults would come up to us and I would think, this guy's so full of shit. And whenever I thought that, it scared me because I thought to myself, like some guy would come up and he would be acting like somebody that he's not, right? It was obvious to me, right? It would
Yeah.
scare me because I think, what is this guy? Like a pedophile? Like, what is wrong with, like, what is he really like? Like, what is
Yeah.
his real? I could handle it as a kid, but I needed to know that the real guy, whatever he was is fine. But what I couldn't handle is when he was like pretending like he was somebody he was not and trying to trick me into thinking he's a nicer person than he is, I could see right
Mhm.
through it as a kid. And I was like, why doesn't he just act like himself? And the people that acted like themselves, I felt very comfortable with because I'm like, okay, at least I know who this guy is. He might not be very easy to get along with. He might be kind of touchy, but that's who he is. That's the guy. And I like adults like that. So that's why I always talk to them. And one of my friends said, my friend Eric in Hong Kong, he said to me one time, he said, I never understood why you get like kids like you so much. And he looked at me, he goes, you treat kids like adults. Like you actually listen to what they say and have a conversation with them. Don't make fun of them. Like they'll ask you a question, you'll actually answer it instead of talk you never talk like people talk to kids. You just talk normal to them.
Oh yeah. I know what you're totally talking about. That's how I operate too,
Yeah,
right?
he said he goes, my kids love that about you.
Yeah, sure.
You're like
Yeah,
adult.
I know what you're saying.
Like you don't sugarcoat stuff. You just say stuff. It's like whoa. And I thought,
And
oh,
also when they're like slacking, like when they're like trying to be kids in the eyes of an adult,
uh-huh.
and they know they're fucking with you, and
Yeah.
and you serve it back,
Oh
and you
yeah.
say, oh yeah, you play dummy, play little fucking silly guy there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you're doing. Like fuck, I did the same. Like don't fuck with me. Like fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
re- they respect that big time.
Yeah, you got
Oh
it.
yeah,
You have a real life. You're there with them, the kids. You have time for them. You love to interact with them, but at the same time, you're an adult with your own life.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that they have to respect that. That's one of the key things that kids have to understand is that they're not the center of the world. They have
Yeah,
to know they're not the only person in the world. There's other people. They have other schedules. They have other needs. They have other personalities. And
right.
that's the beginning of real socialization is they understand, okay, I'm part of this fabric. And these other people are not going to all give in to me all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
of course they're going to be nice because you're little and all that, but there's a limit. There's a limit. The adults have their lives.
Oh no, and hey, when you got a lot of adults acting like Sesame Street people, like
Mhm.
all this namby-pamby kind of, so everybody, let's fucking, play fucking soccer. Let's fucking do the letter A. Like they see right through that, and these adults are just fucking lost, man. They're just pieces of shit,
It's
you
very
know?
easy to connect with kids, I think. And
Oh,
a lot
totally.
of it stems from your ability to know who you are and to be yourself and also to
Mm.
have your boundaries
Oh yeah.
when the boundary gets reached you have to say no, this cannot be breached, this boundary.
Oh, I'll tell you a
I can't
boundary
pull my
is
pants down in public.
oh,
That's not
hey,
cool. That's not
hey,
cool.
when
Well,
any
basically
time
what
of
they
the
say,
day.
you can't pull my pants down. Like there's certain limits kids
Oh
have to
fuck
know.
yeah.
This is not funny and you cannot do this. Like don't
No,
fucking be
no.
doing this. Like this is
Don't
not
fuck
cool.
with me. You don't know what you're fucking with.
Yeah, there's a limit.
Yeah.
Like, don't be
Yep.
fucking. You don't pull people's pants down. And I've seen kids like, especially boys, that will pull down their mother's tops, right?
Yeah.
And then
Oh
the mother's
man.
just sitting there and then pretending like it's nothing and pulling it back up. It's like, no, dude, you can't do that. You know,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff you can't do. You can say the words like penis and all that and poop and all, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can't pull your mom's top down. No way.
Yeah. No,
No
no, no,
fucking
no, no.
way. You can't do that. That's not cool.
Let me tell you one thing here. similar to that is I don't know if you remember in Japan the kancho. Do you remember that?
The concho.
Yeah, the
What's that?
kancho. Okay, kancho basically means enema, right? So
Oh.
what you do is you put your two fingers together, right?
Mhm.
The four fingers, you put them together like a little rocket, and then when somebody doesn't know, you walk up behind them and you jam your fingers in their butt.
Oh, okay. Like a little
And
thing
it,
that would bother you. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? And you turn around and everybody's laughing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then that's like a big deal, funny thing here, right? I guess this is an Asian thing. I don't know what it is, but and
It's
the
all
other
these
one is
things. Yeah.
yeah, and the other one is like, if you got a little, you're getting on or whatever, you're not taking care of your gut, you got a little bit of a gut. And back in North America, they call me skinny, but here I'm a fat fuck. But touch your gut, right? And they'll
Mm-hmm.
play with it and they'll go, you're getting on, you're getting fat, you're getting this, you're Santa Claus and all this fucking bullshit. And most teachers, most people will just kind of like, stop that. No, I'm not like that. If somebody touches me in any way, first, right off the bat, I'm not, I, I don't want any of that. Because not because it's fucked, because I don't want anything to be misconstrued, right? So I got my radar on big time. And if any of this kind of bullshit goes on, I'm right there and I go, look, you don't know what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Stop,
Mm-hmm.
stop that right now. This isn't.
Right. Right. There's a limit. There's a limit. And then once
That's
kids
it.
know there's a limit, it becomes much easier to get along because
Oh, when I walk
they
when I
become better
walk
adults.
around, they give me space, and I like it.
Well, the thing is what you're doing is you're teaching kids really how to be social in groups is what you're teaching them. You're teaching them like the realities of human relations, right? That this is something
Hmm.
that's very, very important kids to realize that when they're little, they think they're the center of the world. All of a sudden they realize, oh, wait a second, I'm part of this whole thing, right? And
Hmm.
I can't get my way all the time. I can't eat all the hamburgers, right? I gotta
Hmm.
spare,
Hmm.
right? And it's like, it's not fun, but it's like, it's a key thing, a key lesson for people.
Like the other day, I was walking right, and I stepped like this kid was polishing something on the floor, right?
Yeah.
And I was walking, and I kind of thought, fuck, I better be careful here. I stepped on his hand, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I turned around, and I didn't give it the full weight, but I just kind of half weight. And I turned around and I went, oh man, are you okay? Like, really, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, 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 like a real apology.
let let me see your hand. Like, it was sort of half red, and I went, look, man, I really like. You don't know. Like, I'm 90 kilograms, right? You don't. I sure hope I didn't give you all that weight. Like, fuck. And he goes, no, 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 no. And he was embarrassed because I was concerned, and he fucked up.
Well, that
And
it is neat. I know exactly what you're saying. Like when you do something accidentally or whatever wrong to a kid, it's important to apologize as if you're apologizing to anybody.
yeah.
I was wrong. I'm really, really sorry. That was like I was not trying. The kid will say, "Oh no, no, no." I say, "No, no, really. Like that was not right. I should not have done."
And then you know what he says? He goes,
Yeah.
what? You're 90 kilograms? And I go, yeah. Look, yeah, yeah. Like, they don't really realize that. They think I'm just another kid, right? Because I act like a kid half the time. And then he's like, holy fuck. He looked up and down. He goes, I guess you are, like,
Well, because he
yeah,
had a different. Now you had a different. He could see that you're treating him like a human. Like
yeah, yeah,
Sesame Street, right? And
yeah,
there's certain things that adults should never do to kids. Like I remember my grandfather, my dad gave me a BB gun, and my dad was he at the time this is when he was drinking and he was crazy and beating me up all the time. It was like we had a terrible relationship. My life was just
yeah.
complete chaos. And he handed me a BB gun, and he was like he
Yeah.
was taunting me all the time to like oh, it was the worst time, man. I'm sure I was a tough kid too at 14 too. But he handed me don't shoot any birds.
Yeah.
But there was a bird up on the telephone wire above me, and I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
took him off. I just took the gun, I pointed right at the bird, and I pulled the trigger, and it hit the bird like my first
Yeah.
shot with a gun.
Yeah.
Hit the
Yeah.
bird, the bird fell out on the
Yeah.
ground, he was dead or whatever. But and then he grabbed the gun and started hitting me with the gun, and he was kicking me like a man, like kicking me like full on with the power of a man.
Oh, okay.
And my grandfather came out. He was probably drunk at the time. My grandfather came out. He broke it up, and the thing is, I was a strong kid, and it didn't hurt that bad. But later on, my grandfather said, he said, the reason why I stopped that is because he was kicking you with the full power of a man. He goes,
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
yeah, he said a man should never hit a kid with the full power of a man. Like, because back then you could hit
That's
kids, it was okay, but
I know, but I know exactly what he's saying. I know
there was
exactly.
a limit. You don't hit kids as if you're in a street fight, you know.
No.
And even back
And I think that both women, adult women, I don't care if they're 100-year-old women, and kids, they don't understand. Like, we can be ballistic and just absolutely insane if we don't keep our shit wired tight. They
yeah, well,
don't. They
you like
don't.
you
They
can like
don't. They don't get it.
and really damage them. You like
Yeah, like you and me,
you could
right?
have
Like,
paralyzed me or something.
like even with my brother, right? Like, I remember fighting my brother once,
Yeah.
and we were both went out drinking. It was my middle brother, and he's a bit of a fucking wingnut anyway. And my friend had to break up the fight, but my brother was wearing like cowboy boots, right?
Yeah.
And he was like kicking me in the head with the heel, just like shit. Like, I could have been dead, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
the power of a man when we lose our shit, it's critical, man. You got to step in and you got to say, "Hey, fucker, like,
No, you have
stop
to.
it." Like,
The key to being a man around children is that you have to know that you are treating them like an adult. You are giving them respect. You apologize when you're wrong. You hold them
mhm.
to account, but you
Yeah,
also realize that they're physically and also mentally not quite there yet. So you have to understand that there's a difference
yep, yeah, yeah,
between an adult and a kid. So it's a complicated like kind of balance, but
yep,
physically especially,
yep, yep.
you cannot allow yourself to ever get angry at a kid like the way you just can't do it like you would with an adult, no matter what they do. You just
Hmm.
can't do it. You just cannot do it. I know from having adults, try to fucking, beat me up like an adult. And I
Yeah.
know that even if I was trying to provoke them because I was 14,
Hmm.
looking back, I didn't completely understand what I was doing. I was only 14. I didn't really I thought I knew, but actually I didn't know. I was
Do you know what this? Do you
I
know
was
what this reminds me of, dude? This
Mhm.
reminds me of something. Like, I got two brothers, right? I'm the youngest, right? And I remember when my dad was like your dad, right? He was fucking drunk as a skunk, right? And
Mm.
he went up against my eldest brother, right? And this
Yeah.
was in the living room, right? And my mom had passed away, so it was just a man's house, right? It was very
Yeah.
manly. There was
Right.
no flowers, fucking. It was pretty manly, right?
Right.
And then my eldest brother's like in grade 12, so what, 17, 18. And he was fucking with him. And my brother just fucking smashed him and pinned him to the ground and said, you know, I don't know. He probably said, don't fucking start it. And my dad was floored, right? He just like, oh my God, like the guy's like stronger than me now.
Oh, how old was he?
I think he was about 17 or 18.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, and it freaked me out because I'm the youngest, and I think my dad's like the hero, and he's a drunk, but he's like the man, and all that. And all of a sudden, my brother's like kicking my dad's ass. you know.
Well, there's a
Oh,
point, and this is a natural point, and you realize that when a kid becomes a man, and I remember when my dad used to beat me and hit me with a belt and everything, and then I remember one time he was doing it and it wasn't right, it wasn't fair, like he was over the line. As a kid, even I understood that this was not fair. Like what I had done did
yeah,
not deserve what he was doing to me, and I grabbed him and I flipped him on the ground, and he looked at me and he
yep.
never hit me again. He never hit me
He
again.
knew it.
He was completely
He knew it.
shocked.
He knew it.
I was
He
like,
knew it.
I was 14 or 15. He thought, I cannot fuck with
Uh
this
oh.
kid anymore. This kid will fucking,
Yep.
he's
Yep.
strong now. He's a
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And it came
But
out of like,
maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's not that bad, you know. Maybe this is the rite of passage or some fucking weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a natural thing, whether it turns out that dramatic or it's just a normal thing. But yeah, there's a point when a boy becomes a man and he's like a physically
Yeah,
man now. It's like, okay,
yeah,
he's not
yeah,
mentally a man yet, but he's physically a man, and that's the way it is.
yeah, yeah,
Wartime,
yeah, yeah,
that guy's gonna go shoot people in the head and kill them, right? You know,
yeah, yeah. He'll flatten you in fucking 2 seconds and not think otherwise. And
and he
keep
could crush
going.
you so hard that it would cause brain damage or kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll just keep walking. He won't even know what the fuck he did. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
That's why you have
yeah,
to be. That's why the court comes down so hard. I knew this guy, and I used to work with him. But when he was 17 or whatever, he was at a party, and
yeah.
he was a quarterback. He was a kind of a star quarterback, and some guy was messing with him, and
Hmm.
they were ready to get in a fight, and they were at this big party, and so he grabbed a beer bottle, a full beer bottle, and
Nice.
and then he hucked it like a spiral across the whole party, and it went and hit the guy
Hmm.
exactly in the head, like pretty far away, like a few houses down,
Yep.
and it was like a perfect spiral, and it hit his head.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it caused damage like brain, and then the courts they said that this guy had to pay 30% of his income for the rest of his life to that guy because
Oh my god.
yeah, he like ruined the guy. But the thing is that court was actually pretty close to correct. I mean, there's a point where you're a man and you have to take responsibility. You cannot be throwing. You cannot be a quarterback who has a very strong arm throwing a beer
Oh,
bottle,
spiral.
a
A spiral,
spiral
man.
at full
Yeah.
speed and hitting a guy in the head. That will kill
Yeah,
people.
that's like a sniper, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So you,
yeah. He had, if it was in karate or some kind of thing, he had a weapon, man. His arm was a weapon.
that's right. And I blame his father for him not knowing that earlier.
His
Like
arm, yeah, yeah,
letting him know, you have to let a boy know, like, you're a man now. Like, you can't do that anymore. Like, no more can
yeah.
you do that to your sister. You now are a man physically, and this is not cool. This is not. You cannot just have temper tantrums now. You know what I mean?
Nobody's gonna squeeze your cheeks and say, "Hey, cutie pie." Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
That
that's
goes. That's
wrong.
another thing too. Like, when do little boys lose that smell? That when the grandma comes up and squeezes your cheek. When does that stop? It's probably about 7, 8.
Hmm.
You know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're little girls. It's like, they cute little dress. All that bullshit goes on, right? Boy, he's a man basically, like 10. You know?
I don't remember when it was, but I definitely remember at 14 for sure I was a man,
Do you
100%.
know what I mean? Like, you lose your cuteness. You're not cute anymore.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't let me trick or treat. People wouldn't even give me candy. They'd say you're too old.
Yeah, yeah. And then you want to be a man, but you can't. You can't even. You don't even have balls yet. You don't even shave. Like, and then all the chicks who are like 14 are going out with guys that are like 18 and got cars and shit.
Well, I matured fast, so 14 I was already pretty much.
But you know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah,
competing. The average little dude's got pimples all over his
yeah.
face,
You don't have the tools to compete against a man.
and
Yeah.
the chick that you're going up against has already been through 2 guys. Like, you're just like, fuck.
Sure. Tell me about how little girls manipulate men and like things that you've experienced. I'm really interested in this. Like,
Well,
what?
I could tell you, for example, like with us, right? Like our
Yeah,
convos,
yeah.
especially, I've been concerned about you, and you'd do the same. I know you would. Like, we're like long lost cousins or something, anyway, and we've got so much in common, and we talk a lot, and especially now since there's been a lot of shit going on in your life. I'm like, right away. I'm like, give me a call me, call me. Like, we're talking more, and there's jealousy going on, right? And it's just a little fucking girl, and she doesn't even know what she's doing. I really don't think it's a conscious thing. I really don't. I think it's just biology. I
So
just
what do
think
you
it's
what do you think,
biology.
what do you think she's trying to do? What is she? Is she trying to break up the intimacy of two men? Is she trying to
It's a,
control
it's a,
you?
it's a jealousy. There's a jealousy, attention. I'm not getting all the attention, you know. I want this. You know, kids are that way, right? I want this. Boys and girls the same, right? They all want this. But see, boys will like, look, fuck off, right? A boy will go, oh, I guess he doesn't want to do that today. Okay, fine, right? They're fine with it, right?
Hmm.
But a girl, you don't say fuck off. You got to go, I'm I'm sorry, but right now I'm talking to a friend and he's a very good friend and you got to make up some kind of bullshit like you're with a 20-year-old woman, right? You know? It's painful, man. Some of the shit that I got to say like while you're talking to me.
Hmm.
I'm trying to. You hear when I'm speaking Japanese, you're like, "Fuck," you're ready to laugh, probably,
Yeah, I
and I'm
was.
like,
I was actually.
yeah, I know, but you know why I'm doing it, right? Because
No,
I'm
because I would have
talking
just
to a
said
20.
"matanaki" or something like that. You know.
Yeah, no. You're dealing with a 20-year-old kind of manipulative skills here, right?
Hmm.
I'll pay for it later. I'll come home tomorrow or another day and she'll blow me off like I'm like a deadbeat piece of shit, right? And I don't like that. Who does? I'd rather have a dog come and jump on my lap than that. I mean,
Now tell
come
me
on.
this. Tell me this. If you look at the way, okay, so she's 7. She's learning how to manipulate men. She's being socialized by all female teachers. Do you see your wife as using her? How do they gang up against you? How does that work?
Oh
What's the
yeah, oh,
interaction of
yeah.
two
Sure,
women
sure,
and a man?
sure. And not only that, whoever's a female in the room, right? An auntie, a grandma, they'll all talk the same trash, right? Like when you walk in the room, everything's quiet. How come? Right? Because they were talking some horse crap about you, right?
Hmm.
Right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Like
Well,
you
tell
just
me
like
specifics that you've heard it.
like you come home early one day. How about that? You come home early one day and everybody's having a gay old time, right? And you come in the room, it's like, hey, I'm home. Where's the give me some chips or whatever fucking thing, give me a beer. Like everybody's like, yeah, okay. Like it's like, you're not supposed to be there, right? And I think a little girl picks up on this real quick, all
So
these
like you're
nuances.
unwelcome in your own home.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the nuance that a little boy won't pick up on that at all. A little boy will be engrossed in his game or his whatever he's doing, his shit, right? Because as men, you know how we focus and we get like deep into whatever we're doing, whether it's masturbation or we're making a model or we're, you know, programming an app. I mean, we get so focused in it, we don't give a shit what's going on with the oldies, right? We're like, hey man, like, where are my buds, right? But little
Right.
girls, they're like little CIA agents, they're learning the skills. They're studying hard. They're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to get that dress. I want to wear lipstick. I want to put that shit on. I want to learn this thing called woman. I want to do that because it seems to make those dudes rock and roll, like seems to really pull their fucking dink hard or whatever. I don't know. They know, man.
So she watches your wife get you to do stuff, and then
Yeah.
she wants to get you to do.
And the trash talk, right? Like, say I don't decide to have a shower one day because it's my day off and I don't give a fuck and I want to
Hmm.
just like smoke a doobie.
Hmm.
She'll go, you haven't showered, have you? Hmm. Gee, look at your face. There's some gray hairs. You smell. It's human. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I just like walk out, right? Like, I don't even fight anymore. I don't even like this is the cool thing. I've learned some skills. I just go like, okay, and I walk in and then it goes somewhere else, right?
Now,
And then
how would you describe
a
if a woman
chick, a
if a
little
woman
chick
did this to
will
you?
pick up on that.
No, what I'm saying is, if a woman did this like that kind of use smell and all that, what do you
Hmm.
call that? What kind of behavior is that?
Uh, I don't know. Like it's it's did I did I press your button? You know,
Like, what
do I
is she trying to
do
do?
you still
Trying to
do
get you to
you
do something?
still
She's trying to
give
make
a
you feel bad? Is she trying to intimidate
Hey,
you?
no, no,
What is she
no,
doing?
no, 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 no. It's a. You know what that is? It's like, do you still give a fuck? You know, because yeah, a real, the best solution would be like, I don't give a fuck off, right? That would be the ultimate answer, right? But if you actually like, oh yeah, okay, I'll have a shower, like you're sort of giving in, right? But if you went, oh fuck you, it's my day off, get out of my way, you dumb cunt. Like that's really would probably would be the best answer, but
It's
you
just
don't
trying to
do that.
manipulate you, and you just have to like not give in.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm
it's
doing
sort of
this.
a
The way I am. It's my day off. Yeah, and
fuck
that's
off.
the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, but that kind of logic
Obviously, you don't use
doesn't.
any of these words with kids. I understand, right? It's
Yeah, but
you're
but
talking about
kids pick
internal
up
thought.
on that. But kids pick up on that. Little girls pick up on that shit big time, quick. And then when I'm away, when I'm at work,
So she's testing you to see if you will fall for her manipulation.
exactly, just like
Okay.
mom does, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's like it's testing. It's scientific experimentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally, yeah, yeah. And then I'm like blown away, like holy cow! Like before, I just give you like here, play my game on my tablet. No, 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 that's not good enough. I gotta sit with you, and like no, wait a minute. Whatever happened? Don't interrupt adults. Remember that one? We're talking. Fuck off. Remember that? Like
Yeah.
our parents used to be, right?
Oh, for sure. When the parents are talking about money or something, it's.
Dude, do you remember like you were raised and I was raised? You interrupt your parents on the phone, you're gonna pay the piper,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
No, you're the. I mean, obviously, kids have a different place than adults, and
Yeah, but now, we gotta like
if they're talking about
uh,
taxes, you don't have to suddenly say, "Oh, Johnny, the tax is like this, and we have this thing, and we're going to write off this thing, and we're not sure." It's like
yeah,
that's kids' business.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, but this has been an educational moment here, basically a discovery, and way different between little boys and little girls. I can tell you that big time.
So give me
Like
some
when I
examples.
when I raised a boy and like my brother came over or he was being an asshole or I was trying to help my brother, he'd give me lots of leg room, right? You know, I never got any real problems from the little boy, right? And now he's 25, right? But, or sorry, maybe 25. So then, but this girl, like 7, and she's got the skills of a 20-year-old. I'm telling you, it's scaring the piss out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So be warned, guys. Little chicks are like what, 15, 18 years ahead. No wonder we're fucked.
Well, I remember my sister. She was older than me. She was 2 years older, so I mean, it's natural. She was more
Yeah,
mature, but I just remember she seemed like so much more mature than I was.
because they studied mom real hard, like at 7. Think about that. 7 to what? When was she giving you a hard time? When you're 14?
Yeah, I mean, definitely then.
Okay, so she was 7 years ahead of your game. You're fucked.
Yeah,
You know, you you had no chance, buddy.
she seemed like an adult to me.
Yeah, of course she was. And most girls they mature faster than boys, and boys only catch up by junior high mentally, really. Physically they're way ahead, but mentally they're just like it's a big gap there, right?
So what is she trying to do to you? Like, let's get some specifics and then close it up. What have you seen? I know she interrupts our conversations, and I don't really know what that's about, but it's strange
Well,
because
at first
let me just say,
I thought it
wait,
was just,
let me just say, like when I was talking, when I was in Vegas, and I would be talking, I knew that if I'm ever with a girl, they don't like it when I have good friends.
Mhm.
Girls
Mhm.
try to interrupt your friendships with boys, with men,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
because it's intimidating. And I think the reason is because why women, they want to be your closest friend, like
Yeah.
your most intimate partner. You're sharing everything with them, so that they
Yeah.
have a lot of power over you. Because if you have a bad relationship with them for a while, you're fucked. Like you don't have anybody to talk to. So you're
Yeah.
much more willing to give in because you need that intimacy. You need that person to talk to that's your good friend. Whenever I hear like my girlfriend's my best friend and my wife's my best friend, I always think, oh my God, this poor guy, like he is fucked. Because then the manipulation is so strong because you don't have any other options, right? Like
Yeah.
when you want to talk about something, get over something, you have to tell her. So it's like if you're
Mhm.
talking about her to her, it doesn't work. You know, you need to first figure it out with somebody else and then talk to her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how does that work?
Absolutely. Like, look at most guys, like my dad, passed away, old guys. Where are their buddies? Where are their high school friends? Where are all those male friends? They're gone.
I
And
always
you know
have a
what?
lot of male friends that are very close.
I know, but most guys, how they end up, they get all like, age and dementia and whatever medication, and they're all fucked up because they're like, who's gonna be there, when I need them? It's you, you dumb cunt. But the cunt doesn't care.
I remember like when I was when I had this problem with this girl here recently, and I remember one of my friends said she probably regrets messing with a guy who has so many friends, because I have so many friends that support me and I can talk to, that
And
I
the street goes both ways.
yeah, because I can't be taken down so easily because I have a lot of good advisors, and I'm very
Hmm.
close. I keep a close thing to my friends, and I want to say this. I want to say this to guys, and I think this is a really important thing. A really, really,
Hmm.
I have a lot of friends who are married, and when they have free time once a year, they might have time during a certain holiday or whatever. They'll call me up and they'll want to hang out, and they'll be like, they'll want to do everything together for that period
Yeah, yeah,
because they want to kind of experience being single, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that really pisses me off. That's one thing that really pisses me off because where are they the whole year when I need a friend? Where are they? They're busy ignoring
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
And then they suddenly have time and it's like this overwhelming, let's be single guys, crazy, let's do this. It's
yeah.
like, no, man, that's not what friendship's about. It's not about
No,
not about the man cave. It's not about the expensive
yeah,
knife or the bottle of scotch.
yeah.
Male friendship is about communicating and helping each other, like long term. It's like and so I think a lot of guys they don't understand. Like, if you want confidants, okay, like when you text me, okay, unless I'm in surgery, I'm usually going to reply, you
I
know,
know. Yeah,
because I know I might not want to reply. Sometimes I might not be in the mood to talk. I might be in
yeah,
a bad mood. I might not want to talk. I might have things on my
yeah, yeah.
mind. You might say
Taking
something.
a you taking a shit?
Yeah,
Fuck.
you might something I don't like, but I
Yeah.
know that it goes both ways. And when I need help, you're there for me, right? You're going to be there for me. So I know that
Push comes to shove, yeah, I'm there, man.
you're
You
there, and
know it.
so I
You
know that
know it.
the
You
guys
know
will
it.
also be there.
The evidence is there.
So what a lot of guys do is they come up with. I had this guy. I knew this guy, and he used to come up with perfect excuses why he wasn't available. He
Mm,
had the perfect excuses, but the longer I knew him, I realized that he was just coming up with socially acceptable excuses whenever he wanted to. So,
mm,
like if you told me something like one of his excuses, I would have said, "Oh, okay, cool, no problem," But
yeah.
he was lying. It was his barrier. But once I figured him out, I realized this guy's a piece of shit friend. You
Yeah.
never know what's true with this guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's that honesty and there's that leaving yourself open to whatever the other person's going through that is necessary for male friendships. It's just
Mm,
necessary.
mm, mm, mm.
You can't be this guy who puts up barriers, lies to his friends about being busy or whatever, and then suddenly needs help. No, man. It's you're open to his needs and his stuff. At the same time as you have your own barriers, obviously. But you're there. You're not disappearing, right? And I think that's a really key thing. It's so different. But
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the bottom line is like women learn very early how to manipulate a man, by doing the cold shoulder technique, or just shutting you off, like, hey, let's play this, let's do that, and just like turn you right off. What's wrong? Like, she doesn't hear me, like, she busy, you got all these thoughts rolling through your head. No, it's just the silent treatment, right? And then you just go, okay, I guess bad mood today, something happened at school, and you screw off to your room, and then there's the little kid coming up on you. Oh, how are you? Being all soft and cuddly wuddly with you, and you're like, what the fuck? I'm talking to my friend on the phone,
So
you
she
know?
basically comes at you with one way, and if it doesn't work, or she changes, then comes at you another way. Like one,
Yeah,
like super bitch,
yeah,
the cold shoulder,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then you just kind of go off on your own, and then she comes back, and then she
yeah,
wants to get back in.
yeah,
Oh, so she turns you off and turns you back on.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And then, okay, lying on my, coming up close to me, and I'll rub her back a little bit, like while I was talking to you. So
Mm-hmm.
comforting her. So like I'm saying, look, I'm not ignoring you, but I'm talking to my friend, and I got shit to do, and you got homework to do too, right?
Yeah.
You got shit to do, right? Like, this is Japan, man. You got kanji, you got like fucking math, man. You got shit to do. I know you do.
What did
I'm
you
not just
learn about the way women manipulate you and men in general by watching her? Like what?
exactly the same techniques.
But I'm sure when kids are more simple, right? So they're going to do it more clearly. What
Mm,
techniques do women?
same, identical, man. Identical,
Okay, so cold
identical. Cold shoulder, like somebody's got headphones on, or like, but they don't. You know what I mean? And you're
uh,
like, hey, it's Friday, it's Sunday, or whatever the fuck. Hey, I'm home, man. Hey, and like, you may as well had dog shit on your shoes or something, right? Like, something's going on, right?
what about that saying you're smelly and stuff? Why would they do that? Why would she say you're smelly?
Yeah, that's the whole putting down the old guy, you know, Oyaji Kasai kind of shit.
So she's trying to touch your insecurities to make you.
Yeah, yeah, because they do it to all old, all men, who are older are considered oyajis, the whole oyaji culture, you know
Well,
what I'm
no,
talking
no,
about?
she's looking for weaknesses in you, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have an insecurity that she can take advantage of. Is that what she's doing?
probably, yeah, sure.
Right, right. Now, any other techniques you can think of? If no more than it's.
Well, the oyaji Kasai, uh, the push in the belly, just going totally cold, like,
Now,
let's
what?
play this, let's do that.
Oh, then going cold, right?
Mm,
And you try to warm her up. So you come over, baby. What's wrong?
yeah, no, more. It's worse. Then it gets worse. You're digging a hole to China. Fuck it. Stop digging.
What would she do next if you give in? Let's say that you started to chase her. Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, more, just screaming and hollering, just acting like a little bitch. You
Mm.
know, I'm supposed to figure out what's wrong, right? Remember that one?
Yeah, you're supposed to know.
Yeah,
You're supposed to know what she's thinking. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's 7 years old.
Well, what's interesting? I'm reading this great book called Woman's Infidelity, and she talks a lot about this. She talks about how relationships are ruined because women think that men should know what they're thinking.
Yeah,
But the truth is, if a man asks her what she's thinking, she will actively lie about it. So,
yeah.
so if she's having an affair, and he says,
Hmm.
"Baby, are you having an affair or something
Hmm.
or whatever?" She'll say, "No, I'm not." And then when he doesn't understand that she actually is and that she's lying to him, she looks at him like as a child, as a
Hmm.
person, and so it's a reason to be. It's one, she's lying to him. Well, okay,
Hmm.
first she's deceiving. She's doing something that's wrong in a committed relationship.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
shouldn't have another lover in a committed relationship, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not. Otherwise, it's not a committed relationship, right? It's you're
Hmm.
deceiving, you're tricking, right? The next thing is then you're asked about it and then lying about it, saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally using your own deception and your own lying to look down on the person and to actually be vindictive. Like he doesn't understand that I'm having a fucking affair. How can he not see it? And then to like cause him more pain. So what she was saying is like essentially women are ruining their own relationships because you have to tell the person what you're thinking. Otherwise, there's not possible. And I even disagree with the author of the book because the author of the book is saying that women are very good at reading these cues and knowing these things. And I personally, I think she's overestimating women's ability to read men because when I was dating all those women, I know a lot of the girls that I was dating did not know about the other. They did not have any kind of sixth sense. If I fuck, okay, if I go home, if I have another woman's phone, and I go and fuck her, and I come back, there is no way for my girlfriend to know that I just fucked another woman.
Absolutely no.
There's no way. I mean, I just look at her. You know, a woman will tell you, "Oh yeah, I know, I know."
I can smell it.
No, but yeah, no. But the truth is I can tell you right now that women cannot know.
Yeah.
There's no way for a human being to know. If I don't tell them, there is no way for them to know. There's no way.
Right.
I left a clue or whatever. Because the thing is, for me, is I didn't feel guilty. I would roll through all the girls, and I had no desire to be monogamous with any of them. So I wasn't like the typical guy who was like, you know, would just cave in. I was like, hey, I'm doing my thing. Fucking, I just fucked a super hot girl. It was awesome. And I'm fucking you know, and I didn't have to at all. And so there was no way for them. And I realized at some point, like, women are not so good at intuition. They don't know.
Yeah. It's a bunch of hype. Yeah.
If I don't tell them, there's no way for them to know. Now, if I feel super, super guilty, okay, because I'm supposed to be in a committed relationship, which I wasn't, by the way. I never promised to these girls. But if I would have felt guilty, then I could see how men are not good liars, and I could see how she could see it. But in reality, they had no idea. I would have. I literally. I mean, most of the time, I would fuck a girl, and I would go meet another girl before I even had a shower.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and my dick would be covered in the other girl's pussy juices, and I'd stick it in the other girl's mouth. and even then, she wouldn't notice.
This is gold, man. They gotta. This is gonna make them listen to the end of this clip. I tell you.
Oh yeah, this is the only time only one girl ever noticed.
I wonder if you should loop this back to the front. You know.
Yeah, you know, the thing is when I this is one girl, I was trying to make her blow me in this park, right? And she didn't want to. And finally she did. But then when we ended, and then later on she said, she was all bummed out. She said, you know why I didn't want to do that? I was like, why? She said, because I could smell the other girl on your dick, you know? And I was like, she was the first girl who had noticed. Because I used to do that all the time.
Hey, the street goes both ways. I can tell you, the street goes both ways, bud.
Right? Oh, no, I know. Trust me. No.
I've smelt it.
Oh, yeah. No, and the thing is, I'm not bragging because women can do the same thing.
Oh, no, I can tell you for fact because, you know, my old lady was in the business, right?
Right. No, truth be told, I don't... at the time I was proud of it, but today I'm not proud of it. Like I would like to give women more respect now. Like really, I would like to go take a shower, you know what I mean? Like give them that respect. But at the time I was just, you know, I was in a
I remember talking to you once. You were like, it's like work, man. Honestly, I don't even like it. It's just like work. I got you know, like it was like a job.
Yeah, I felt like it was a job, like boning all these chicks, like because once they started coming over, they would just keep coming and keep coming and keep going, and I had to pretend like I was super horny for each one, no matter how many came over to my house, and like it's not easy to do that actually.
Can you imagine what a hooker feels? I tell you,
it's not. Well, no, because a hooker doesn't need to get hard on. You know?
Yeah, I know, but they got to pretend like, oh, baby, you know.
It's easy for a girl, dude. For a guy to give. To have like say 10 regulars that you're boning on a weekly basis, and each one of them, no matter, some of them are different levels of hotness. Your brain's compared. to
Mm-hmm.
give each one of them the good bone as if you
Mm-hmm.
really care about her and everything. Fuck, that's not easy, man. That's hard fucking work, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be
Mm-hmm.
a machine. I could never do that now. No way. No fucking way.
Yeah, conscience is getting up quick enough, catching up with you, I guess.
And no, it's just not that I wouldn't have the desire to do it now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm.
don't have.
Well, to me, I remember it was I was starting to think, yeah, this is like fucking work, man. Really.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know.
It is work. It is. Girls are demanding sexually. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
girls, they don't. Guys don't realize that because most guys don't get much sex. But if you're a sexy guy and you get a lot of girls, like fuck, man, girls are very demanding. You know, you gotta perform, man. You gotta perform as a guy, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't perform, you're gonna lose the girl. You have to give them a good bone. That's the thing, is that girls are just as horny as guys. They're not.
Yeah, yeah.
They're guys are a little bit less monogamous than girls, but girls are very not monogamous. Girls need
Mm-hmm.
strange dick. They need strange dick, especially in
Mm-hmm.
their 30s when they're going through their sexual peak. You know.
Oh, it's like, oh, yeah, it's all about taboos. Yeah.
Well, no, no. I mean, physically they need it when they're in their 30s. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, because they biologically they're looking
Yeah.
for the right seed, right?
I
Mm.
don't know what the reason is, but guys, just one guy's is not enough. You know, they need
It's,
more.
it's like they're like flowers getting pollinated.
There's no way that one guy can satisfy a woman in their 30s. No way. No way. No way. I mean, a girl could put up with it and she's going to be fine if she wants to, but it's not satisfying. It's different, you know?
Well, they're multi-orgasmic too, women, man. They can just like fucking go 20 times in a day, right?
Yeah. 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 No, I had one girl, Nana. I talked about her in the last, in the how to be the best she's ever had. That girl wanted me to fuck her 5 times a day.
Yeah, I think that's my max, really. I think I that's
Yeah,
my limit.
5 is the very max. Every time that I would come and we'd take a shower, she'd be like washing me up with soap, trying to get me hard again in the shower.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, again? You know, like fuck, you know. And like,
yeah. And it's almost insanity, right? You're like, what the fuck?
yeah, I just want to relax. It's like, fuck, I'm happy now. Let's just eat some food, you know. Fuck,
Yeah. Or they leap on you in the morning and you're not even awake and your dick's hard, but
let's get out of the
like,
fucking house once in a while. Let's fucking go to the park or something.
no, they don't want any of that. They just
Let's
want
get
to
on the
squeeze it.
motorcycle.
They want to squeeze everything out of you.
Well, Japanese girls, and I like this about Asian girls in general, but Asian girls.
That was then, though. That was then. Critical point, dude.
Well, no. Asian girls in general, their strategy is different for keeping a man loyal than Western girls.
Oh,
Western
okay.
girls use manipulation and intimidation and shame
And pouting.
and pouting to get you to not fuck other girls. Asian
Yeah.
girls are different. Asian girls are like, he's my man. I'm gonna fuck him until he's so fucked that he is completely fucked out. So even
Yeah.
if another girl offers it to him, he's gonna be so tired he won't care.
Yeah. Right.
That's basically Asian girl strategy. And guys don't mind that strategy. And that strategy does really work. One of my friends just called me from Thailand, and his girlfriend is doing that. I told him that, and he said, "Yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. She's trying to fuck me. So I'm so tired. I'm just completely exhausted. And when I do this girl, even if she likes me, I'm not going to do anything because I've got everything I need, And they want to sexually, they want to wear you out, so you don't need any other girls. And then it's a good strategy. I mean, I like it, and it really works too. It does work.
Let me add to this. African girls, they do the same technique.
I think wise countries with history tend to do this.
Yeah. North American women,
Yeah.
they're fucking really confused. I think just North Americans are fucking confused anyway.
Oh, especially when it comes to sex, they're completely confused when it comes to sex. I agree.
Yeah, just over the top, like too far, like into the like weirdness,
No,
or just
they don't understand.
or backwards into like just too like simple,
Well, they don't understand the basics of how men and women, the relationship between the sexes. Western people in general believe that you can change the way you are by thinking. Right? You can change who you are. You can become a different person. Eastern cultures are much smarter. They know that you are what you are.
Yeah, sure.
And they accept that. They're like, okay, there's limitations,
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
you can change some things, but basically you
Yeah.
are who you are.
Yeah. This guy's walking around and he's dragging his dick on the floor. He better use it, you know?
Yeah, if I don't do it, if I don't wear him out, he's going to have it. Some girls are going to want to do him. My relationship's going to be at risk. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally logical. Whereas Western girls, they will tend to shame you. You use mental torture to make,
And the law.
but it doesn't work in the end. Oh, and the law. True, 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 true.
It's a money making business, eh? It's not like that outside North America.
No, you're right. You're right. Fuck, that's interesting. Yeah, that's very insightful. That's true.
That's their wood, man. That's the fucking wood, man. That's the law.
How would
Yeah.
you? How do you look at the difference between your daughter and your son? Like, how do you see them differently? Or
Mm.
if I'm asking the wrong question.
Intelligent, faster. I think that's it. Just the wise to the world faster. Basically, wise to the surroundings.
Mm.
You know, basically, like if a rocket was flying at a young boy or a girl, probably the girl would know how to duck. The boy would be going, "Oh, yeah, I just lost an eyeball. I'm okay." You know.
Streetwise.
Yeah, they're very very attuned to their environment, and they're watching the elders a lot. Boys are not like that. We're like fixated on like manipulating shit and controlling it and making crap and blowing up shit and you know.
Right. Guys are into things, women are into people. So
Yeah,
naturally,
that's exactly it there. Yeah, yeah, that would be the easiest way to explain it. Yeah, people and
right.
things. Yeah,
That makes sense. That totally
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. GI Joes and
Yeah.
Legos, and girls are into fucking. What did he say? Huh? What? Like even at 7, they're going, what did he say? And they're like pretending to be little women.
Yeah.
What? Is that what he said? Oh, my goodness. Ooh. Like it's all fake bullshit, but you're like, fuck, man. This little girl is a little bitch now. Like, my God.
Well, I think,
You know?
I have a more sympathetic view of girls. I think that,
No. I'm just thinking that, but I know what they're doing. They're just copying. They're just trying to fit in.
well,
They're just trying to get along.
but I mean, is like women evolved um, with different skills. So the emotional strength and the ability to manipulate is what woman's strength is. So
Huge, yeah.
if a boy, has no strength, he's kind of defenseless, right? That's why he'll
Mm-hmm,
get bullied because he doesn't have the physical strength to fight up for himself, right?
mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm,
woman doesn't have the skills that she needs. She's not going to be able to have children. She won't be able to have a good life. To
mm-hmm,
get a man to work with for her,
mm-hmm,
to get the job she needs to get,
mm-hmm,
and if she wants to be a career woman and not be married, she
mm-hmm,
she needs the ability to manipulate her boss, manipulate her company, and to get what she wants.
mm-hmm.
It's a different skill set. It's a completely different skill set. So I respect that the girls have their path, right? They have their path, and like I'm not here to say what the path is, but I mean the path is different than the boys' path, and like
Totally different. And like girls, what they look for is they look for the leader, right? And boys do too, right? Who's the tough guy, right?
mhm,
Who's the cool guy? Who's the tough guy? You know. But
mhm,
girls look for who's the connected chick who's gonna gossip on me or rat me out or be a bitch. It's a
mhm,
kind of
mhm.
different dynamic, and they learn that shit really early. I think boys, it takes a little longer to learn like who's the tough guy until they get into a fight. Like a guy who's been in a fight, they're not going to be a bad mouth.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
once I remember the first time I got punched in the mouth. I got a bloody mouth in like
Yeah.
fourth grade.
Hmm.
That woke me up a lot. You know.
Yeah, yeah. A kid who has been in a fight. The kid who's lippy and being a little pussy, he
Oh yeah.
hasn't been in a fight yet, right? Boy who's been in a fight, he's gonna be chill.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
It's true because I was with my friend and we were just kind of fucking with each other, but the
Mm-hmm.
other kids thought we were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So they gathered, I was in fourth grade, and they gathered
Mm-hmm.
around us. I'm still embarrassed about this. And they encouraged us to fight because they thought we were fighting, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
said, punch him. And then I did. I punched my friend.
Mm-hmm.
He punched me in the mouth, gave me a bloody mouth, and he beat me, he won.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was super embarrassed because I was the one who gave in.
Mm-hmm.
I was the bonehead, punching my
Mm-hmm.
friend. Because
Mm-hmm.
what I should have done is said, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? This is my friend. I'm not fighting."
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah. But you
I
didn't
was the one that
have
went.
enough. See, now I think if same age, if it was a woman, she would have the social skills to say that. Eh?
I,
A
yeah,
little
I
girl.
felt this enormous pressure all of a sudden, everybody watching me, and then
Yeah, yeah,
but I didn't think he was going to punch me back somehow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that, that is a big deal. I think that with boys, it's about, you know, who's going to back up their talk, right? But girls, it's a little different. There's a lot of like uh, underlying backwards, gossipy bullshit going on, right? Boys, it's who shows their stuff, back up your, talk the talk, right? Like,
Mm.
it's being able to back up your words, right? You're gonna back that up, right? We're always tested all the time, right?
Well, here's what's funny about that situation. The reason why I told that story is because it's still one of the most embarrassing things to me.
Really?
Yeah, because I gave in. You know,
Mm.
he was my friend. Even though I was in fourth grade, I gave in and I punched him.
Oh yeah.
And then not only did he punch me, but he beat me. Because I was not only was I over the line, but I was also not a good fighter at the time yet.
Sure, sure, sure.
And it's just like so wimpy, retarded thing to do, to be pushed around by the crowd and then to punch my own friend. It didn't make any sense. Like I
Yeah,
never do that
you
again.
got manipulated, yeah, by the
Well, no,
crowd.
I was an idiot. I mean, there's no other way to look. I was a fucking idiot, and I don't want
Yeah,
to be an idiot again.
yeah, sure.
No way. No fucking way. I learned a good lesson there.
Yeah.
Don't go for social pressure. Like you're gonna pay.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's not a zero sum game. You are gonna lose, or there. It's not a win-win. You're gonna lose, man. You have to
Mm-hmm.
stand up and say, no, we're not fighting. I don't care what you guys want. We're not fighting.
Right, right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, thanks for that was awesome, man. Thanks for the very interesting discussion there. 7 years old when they start school is when they start manipulating people. That's fucking interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really going to be interested to see how this turns, as time goes.
Well, we just touched the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's probably, if you look online, there's a whole pile of educated papers and university studies on this shit. I'm sure.
It's good stuff. I want to see. But I want to hear your personal
Yeah.
experiences as your daughter moves forward, and then see what
Oh yeah.
see what she does next. You're like, what's the next thing? So now that we got you thinking about it, you'll be watching
Yeah.
carefully, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can even do a follow-up episode as you start to notice things in real time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's all the test, right? Life is a test, right? So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like you're the dad, so understanding how you feel about stuff and what you'll allow yourself to be manipulated on, and what you won't is a key thing for you as a dad too. How to be a good dad, right? You have to be consciously aware
Well,
of what's happening.
how about trying to be a good example to other kids too, and other you know. So I think we talked about a lot of stuff and how we carry ourselves as men. It's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Oh man,
So
really,
have
really,
a good one, man.
definitely.
Yeah, have a good one. We
All
we
right.
we I got to listen to this probably about 5 times.
I found myself listening to Ronin Mans all day. Like, just yeah, I learned so much from what we talk about, what I talk about. Like, I see myself from the outside. I rethink things again. I try to get a better idea of what is really going on and be more honest with myself and get deeper into things. What's the
Yeah.
next step? What did I miss? I'm very, this stuff really turns me on. It really is like so interesting. And
Yeah.
I feel so grateful to have this podcast because this is the very stuff I want to understand. Like
Sure.
if I was not Ronin Man, I would want to listen to Ronin Man. Like I would
Yeah.
definitely listen to Ronin Man. Like,
Yeah.
because it's like putting it together, the things that I care about,
Right.
you know?
Well,
And
next time I think we should put some levity on this a little like like the SJW dictionary one. I kind of like that one. It was one of my faves.
that was
Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Just laugh. We need one of those. We need a part 2 or something. I don't
my
know.
favorite one was Die Alone episode. I can listen to that 5-10 times. I crack it up with that one. It's like, your wife and kids flying out the window, like the happiness of that. That's
Oh
the
man.
whole idea is, that you die alone and you're like bad until you die with your family is great,
Yeah. All right. You're the salt of the earth, buddy.
Who wants to watch people die? What the fuck. All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, you have a good sleep over there. I know it's late, so thanks for staying up.
Yeah. Yeah. Get this fucking edited and get her up there quick because I want to listen to it, man.
Okay, I'll add some Boston background on there. The things I've been recording recently.
All right, you got to learn that accent, man.
Yeah. I got it. I'll get it some one of these days.
Bastion. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
I can't
Maybe
do it.
one of the reviewers can. Maybe you can get a real Bostonian.
Yeah, Rick is the real Bostonian. Rick that I interviewed. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we met up the other day. That was pretty cool.
Baston. Yeah.
I
All
can't.
right.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm so bad
Yeah, I
at
know you're gonna get a bunch of fucking flames just for that.
it.
Oh, I can't even say flame now. It means something else. Sorry about that.
No, you can't. You can't say anything basically anymore. If you say anything, you're evil and wrong. Yeah, don't say anything. That's the best way.
Right. Just don't breathe.
Yeah, don't breathe. Yeah, but take a shower. Make sure you take a shower.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. All right. Take it easy, eh?
All right, done. Have a good night. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. And subscribe, share, comment, all the normal cool shit you guys are doing. Have a good one. Thanks for taking the time.